Hello everyone, welcome back. This is PJ, and today I have a story for you that I've been wanting to tell on YouTube for a long time. And just FYI before I tell it, it's not that I am looking for sympathy or attention on the internet, really. I just feel like this is something I really want to share, because there's probably someone in the world that needs to hear it, whether you're a teacher, you're a student, you're a parent, I don't know. I just feel this is something someone out there will need to hear. And yeah, it is a hard story, something that happened in my past. Yeah, and just FYI, like, this is what I think was the biggest factor in me developing social anxiety. I have an actual diagnosed case, just FYI, I'm not just throwing that term out there. There are probably other factors in my life, but this one, in my opinion, is like the main one. Anyway, so this is the story of my very traumatic third grade year experience. Basically, you know, I was a fairly outgoing kid for the first couple years that I was in elementary school. Then when I got to third grade, you know, I made friends with a girl in the class because she wasn't in my classes before third grade. So yeah, the first thing was that me and this girl would play. There'd be three of us girls, but there was like that main girl, we'll call her Candy. Candy will be her name. And she was kind of like the leader, if you will. She was the most vocal and the kind of the center of our group, our little 3-person group. And so yeah, we were friends, we play, and you know, most things were fine. Now, I guess there were just some misunderstandings. See, I wore glasses. I was known as the kid with the glasses, which I hated being described as because everyone else described with like long brown hair, or the blonde girl, the curly-haired girl, but I was the one with glasses. And many kids at the school would ask to take my glasses and, you know, try to use it as a reflecting tool to get the sun to make a fire on like pieces of wood or something. So this was a totally normal thing. And when I was playing with these two girls, including Candy, I thought it was just what we did to play out there because so many other people did it. And so I took off my glasses like, I'm making a fire. It wasn't my original idea, but yeah, so that, and then I think something else happened that I don't even remember because I've put a lot of this out of my brain. And so Candy, you know, told her mom I was making fires at the school, which misconstrued to like I was trying to set the school on fire or something. And so her mom said, do not play with PJ. That wasn't what I went by back then, but PJ. And yeah, so that was very upsetting. And then because I couldn't play with Candy, I couldn't play with the other girl that was kind of in that 3-person group. And also I adored Candy's little sister because I was, even at that age, I loved little kids, and she had a little sister in kindergarten. So yeah, that was very hard. So I like lost a friend. I wasn't even allowed to speak to that girl anymore. And I was just like labeled because this mom told the teacher, she told the daycare, the after school daycare, that I was dangerous or whatever. And yeah, so I couldn't play with this. So then, you know, the daycare people and the school believe that I'm this dangerous kid. Okay, so that's that. Now, the teacher. So, the teacher, yeah, so basically after this happened, you know, I couldn't play with Candy anymore. She was in my class. It was awkward. I couldn't talk to her, anything. So if other kids talked to her, I couldn't hang out with them either, because she was hanging out with them. So it was really, really hard on me socially as a child. So that just kind of happened for the rest of the year. Finally, there was like a new student in the class. He started when the school year started, but before I was hanging out with Candy and the other girl, so I didn't pay attention to him. But then after, I started playing with that boy, so then we became friends, so things got a little bit better. Basically, there was a few instances, and then so the teacher, she herself had a student that was in our grade level. He was in a different class, but because she had a son in my grade level, then she knew a lot of parents. So keeping that in mind, there were some misunderstandings in class. So one day I'm in class and a girl literally whispers my name behind me. She's at like diagonal kind of behind me, and she whispered my name. So I turned around and I looked, but everyone was acting normal. She was just messing around. And so I told my teacher I heard a voice. I meant like a literal person, but my third grade teacher decided that I meant I was hearing voices. And when I was in third grade, I was a pretty self-sheltered kid. I didn't really, I just like to think positively about anything, so often I didn't even like let myself find out about anything negative, or I didn't want to like know about how the world worked too much, because I just liked seeing the positivity. So I had no idea at that time that it was even possible to kill yourself. So yeah, disclaimer, I'm like briefly mentioning suicide because that's kind of integral to the story. But yeah, so I had no idea it was possible to commit suicide. Because of the voice thing, because I was upset a lot of the year because this thing with Candy happened, and because the teacher just scrutinized everything I did, she decided that I was suicidal, a suicidal kid. So yes, if you're a teacher and you actually believe something is going on with one of your students, you should definitely talk to like administration, the parents of that student. But this teacher had these friends of parents of kids in my grade level. So she, trying to earn gossip points, was telling all these parents that I was this crazy suicidal kid. And these parents decided, they're like, oh, I don't want that around my kid. So they told their kids not to play with me or have anything to do with me. So consequently, I still had that new boy, we'll call, what's a good name for him, like Icicle. But because he was new to the school, his parents weren't really involved. But all these other parents telling their kids not to talk to me. So I was left alone a lot. If Icicle was absent, I had nobody. I would just sit by myself, do nothing. And we lived in a small-ish town where, you're with the same batch of kids like year in and year out. And so this carried through for 4th grade, 5th grade, until we met up with the other 3 elementary schools in junior high. So for 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade, I was pegged as this crazy suicidal kid, And, you know, it really affected my social skills, my confidence, everything. And because I was constantly told, no, I'm not going to play with you. And I still believe that to this day I'm a little bit behind socially for my age, even though I'm an adult. Like, I feel like I act younger socially still. Yeah, and at the time, we think the principal was aware of it, but there's no solid proof because just verbal discussion among the teacher and her friends. So that's why we never did anything about it. I'm sad to report that this teacher is still teaching 3rd grade. I have forgiven her years and years. I have forgiven her. Do I think she should be teaching? No. But she is. So that's my story. I guess what I want to get across is, if you're a teacher and you think you might be crossing a line, you know, think about that. As a parent, please help your children if they are in this situation. And if you're a student in the situation, well, elementary age, you couldn't really be aware, I guess, of what's happening, because I was barely aware. My parents kind of laid it out for me years later. And so yeah, I just want this video to be some form of awareness. If you watched this long, thank you so much. I've been wanting to tell the story for years. Yeah, and just anything you do to a young child, even if you think it doesn't hurt them in the long run, like just talking to your friends, it does. So please use good judgment when you're involving a child. That's all I can say. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you next time. I'm sorry this was a little bit of a downer, but I just do fun things and talk about life on this channel, and if you're interested in that, please give a like and subscribe. Thank you.